It's a very, very small group of people, many of them clueless.
Hi, everybody. It's Gene Simmons, and you're not. This is Kiss My Kollectibles podcast, but you know that.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the next episode of Kiss My Kollectibles. I am one of your co-hosts, Jason Herndon, and with me, as always, is Joe Lalich. Howdy, Joe.
What's happening? Howdy.
Much.
All right.
And also with us, as always, is Nicholas Buck, Gene Simmons.
Send me money. Send me money. It's Nicholas Buckland. I tricked you. You all fell for it. Wow.
What's going on, fellas?
Oh, lots of stuff. Hang on. I almost broke that. I'm always breaking things on this show. I'm sort of like looking at camera and putting them down, and they go, okay, we'll fix that later. All good. Yes. Fantastic. It's been a while.
Oh, boy. This show always gets off to an inauspicious start. Every single time. We have no idea what we're doing out of the gate. No idea. I don't know how to look at the camera. I don't know whether to wave, say hello. Nicholas just breaks stuff, knocks things over. Here we go.
And we've been doing this for a long time. You think we'd have figured this out by now, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's right.
So it's been a little while since we recorded, guys. 3 weeks or something like that. So it's good to see your beautiful faces again.
Well, I enjoyed your intro because you had the smoothest. You was like, hello, it's Jason. So it was very asking, ooh. Like after dark special then.
We're watching like...
You just came in so relaxed, you know.
Welcome
He's
to
dreaming.
Kiss My Kollectibles, ASMR.
That's right.
That's right. So we haven't done one of these in a long, long time. I think the last one we did was maybe with John 5. We're going to do a collector spotlight this week. And I will introduce him in just a moment. But we've been trying to get collectors on for forever, and everybody is tons busy. And then when I think somebody's ready, now they're renovating rooms. I got two guys that I want to have on the show badly, and they're both renovating their Kiss rooms, and they're like, I've got to wait until I get it done. One
guy was attacked at work and injured, so he's now in plaster and stuff.
Poor guy, man.
So it's a bit of a
yeah. So, but I've also
for you Americans, he has a cast. He's not a plaster.
Yeah, exactly. Yes,
it's a whole separate thing. We've heard songs about that.
All right. Okay. Lost in translation there. Well, he didn't show us that far up, so
So I've been trying to track this guy down for a little while too, and get him nailed down to the show. To joining us for this collector's spotlight this week. Are you telling me to hold on, Joe?
No, I was just going to say, isn't it now the new rule that every time we have a collector on, they become a de facto co-host? So now it's going to be John Humphrey, John 5, and now
from We Are Harlot, Jeff George.
Hey guys,
welcome, Jeff.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Look at all that nice stuff behind him.
Mm-hmm.
And another fellow Detroiter.
That's yes. All good peeps from Detroit for sure. So
all we
great
need,
to see you guys.
We just need one more. We'll add in John 5, and then we don't even need Nicholas and Jason anymore. We'll be all Detroit Wrecking Crew.
And J5 was supposed to be with us today, but targeting always gets in the way. That guy loves Target.
He does love Target, doesn't he?
It's really amazing. And it's funny because you said it in a very nice way, Jason, which is like, hey, we haven't did one of these in a while. I mean, and this is what you get when you can't get anybody on the show. You get this guy.
We're dragging the bottom of the barrel. Jeff George joins us.
I know.
That's right.
I needed the $50 so bad I did it, You
Who
guys
paid him $50?
Exactly. It's more than we've ever made.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, it came in AUD, so it was only like 36. So
This podcast has been on 5 years and it's made exactly $300. So I pay that in 6 months in hosting fees. So
yeah,
don't get into podcasting, folks, unless you can get 10 million subscribers, because it's not.
I pay
worth
that
it.
in pictures in skiing pictures of Nicholas Buckland.
Ooh,
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah, ski attire, unbelievable.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know what that meant. I didn't see snow till I was 26 years old. So yeah, I don't know.
I thought you looked older in those pictures. I thought you looked a little older in those. Wait to see what's in my box.
Oh
God.
God. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to
So
it.
yeah, Jeff, guitar player, and we are Harlot. You guys been together for over a decade now, right?
No, since we got together in 2011, but the first album didn't come out till 2015.
That's right.
So it was a really weird time because we were all in different bands. So my drummer was playing with Lady Gaga, and I was playing with Sebastian, and my singer was in a band called Asking Alexandria, and we were all in different bands. So then
the other guy was in Silvertide, wasn't he?
Yeah,
That
exactly.
Silvertide record is amazing.
Killer. One of my all-time favorite albums of all time.
Yeah, I love it.
And so, of course, we were all doing good. And then we were like, oh, I got an idea. Let's all quit what we're doing and start a rock band, in 2011, and quit what we're doing. So we got sued by everybody that we had already been playing with and working with and all that stuff. And basically had to start over from the bottom. And but it goes to show that if you really believe in something and, nobody would sign us. Nobody would sign us. Nobody wanted anything to do with us. And so we said, okay, well, we're just going to put this band together and we're going to go play Rock on the Range in Ohio. And 60,000 people came to come see us play. And then all of a sudden, we just like, all right, we're just going to put out a song to the radio. And, it went top 10 on Active Rock. And then all of a sudden, everybody started calling, right? So then we just spent the next 2 years going out on dinner dates and, things like that until we ended up signing with Atlantic Records and our manager and all that kind of stuff. So it all worked out. So
Good story.
rock and roll that never dies, right? Just ask Kiss.
What impresses those people more? Is it radio play or is it crowds or is it crowd size different?
Man, I mean, as you guys probably know, the record industry is upside down, man. I mean, the music industry is completely upside down. It's really in a weird place. It's very difficult to make money. You make your money from touring, and obviously with COVID right now, we're not doing a whole lot of that. It's tough. If you seem like you work your whole life to try to get on a major label, and then once you're on a major label, you want to work the rest of your life to get off that major label.
Right.
Does anybody from Atlantic watch this show?
I don't know.
But it's just it's tough when you're just doing it yourself. You're free to do whatever you want, but then when you're in all of it, you're tied to kind of what everybody wants you to do. Right. So I guess what impresses them, yes, dollars are usually the biggest thing that can impress them. Yeah. So luckily, we were lucky. The first album came out, and we had 2 top 10 singles off of it, and spent the next 11 and a half months on tour. Did 33 countries, and then of course completely burned out. And some things from there went on, but yeah, it's all good. So
cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
Good story.
Yeah. I wrote it down in invisible ink. I think. Okay. Yeah, I got it.
That's it.
All right. So yeah, but after we do our normal numbskull stuff here at the beginning, we're gonna talk to Jeff, and we're gonna talk about all of that stuff that's behind him and how he got into all of that stuff, and he's gonna tell his story. You guys know how the Kollector spotlights work, so
yeah.
But before we do that, are we gonna do this, Nicholas?
No. Confession. No.
Ooh, that's brief.
Yeah, brief. You said short.
Is that Joe's voice on the new?
No. It does sound like
it does sound a little like
generated?
Joe. No, that was you earlier. That robot voice you had was unbelievable. That's the coolest thing.
Ironically enough, it's everything's clear now. I haven't had any.
It was
issues, so.
it was Jason's Daft Punk tribute thing.
That's
They were
right.
proud of.
Oh,
Yeah, right.
Oh.
It broke up. So,
Yes.
No, is that computer generated? How did you get that, Nicholas?
Oh no, yeah, you can I just found a robot. You can type it in and get any words to do. Because my original one, I spent ages trying to get where Gene says in what is it? Oh, Christine 16. He says that day I knew. I was trying to get new and then put that together with Confessions, but it sounded absolutely awful. So I just robot voice. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was spending way too much longer. It was like 3 or 4 hours, and the kids are going, "Daddy, come here. Really, really important work here." It's like, you. You're not my dad.
All right, so new stuff that's coming out. Who you want to? You're the new Confessions guy. You start, Nicholas.
Oh, new stuff that's coming out. Okay, well, what is new? Oh, yes, the newest thing is. Hang on, I just kick my brain.
Scroll up.
My brain. Yes, hang on. Scroll up.
There you go.
We should talk about this, I suppose, shouldn't we?
That's right.
Mm.
Off the soundboard, Tokyo 2001.
With their names on there. So,
Yeah.
Jason, do you want to you're probably closer to knowing what this is and more about it. Do you want to take the spotlight on this?
Well, what it seems like is going to happen, and then hopefully they follow through with it, is there's going to be a new official kind of bootleg series called Off the Soundboard for the band in Universal. So it's totally official stuff. And this got I guess somebody found it by accident on Amazon UK. It was not supposed to be posted. In fact, when I first saw it, I actually reached out to my UMG rep through my work and asked them, "Hey, is this going to be in the catalog? Are we going to be able to order this through my company? And is it going to be direct to consumer, or is it going to be available in stores and stuff?" And he came back and said that wasn't supposed to be posted. We're actually contacting them to pull it down, so that link is now pulled down from Amazon UK. But it sounded like that they are going to solicit it and announce it officially in April. But since the cat's out of the bag and several rock news agencies picked it up, like I think Blabbermouth and Brave Words and Brave Words. Yeah, I think they all picked it up and ran with it. So, the embargo that they ask you to do, who cares now? But anyway, so they're doing these soundboard tapes, and it looks like the first one, which to me is an odd choice, but a cool choice, is this Tokyo show, which has the Paul, Gene, Ace, and Eric Singer lineup, part of the farewell tour. And of course, this bootleg has circulated for years and years and years. But I've always said, I don't care how many bootlegs there are out there of these shows. If they finally package this stuff in official packaging, I'm going to buy it. It's going to be cool to me. So it looks like this will be coming maybe sometime in June, I think. And I think Amazon UK actually had like a June 11th date, but the rep here, our UMG rep, said that the street date is moving. It's bouncing. They're not 100% sure, but I believe it's going to have at least a CD configuration, a black vinyl configuration, and a colored vinyl configuration. Don't know what's going to be available where, any of that stuff. So, but it is coming. It's definitely coming.
Okay. And then one thing I did notice, because people were saying, "Oh, I've already got this on bootleg," and somebody said, "Well, no, what you may have is the radio broadcast version, which apparently is not as good quality or not exactly the same as this version." Well, I mean,
it would be compressed, heavily compressed on radio, and if it's from the soundboard, it's going to be direct audio soundboard. The only scary thing about them doing, officially licensed bootlegs is kind of the same thing that happened with Kissology. Is, well, they start to go in and chop some things up for various reasons, whether it be, royalties that don't want to get paid because it's too expensive, or performance issues or anything like that. Just leave it alone, take it directly from the tape and put it.
Let's hope they do.
That's, it's a great show, flubs and all. It's a great show. We all want to hear it just like it is.
And the flubs are some of the greatest parts sometimes.
That's right.
Sometimes.
Right. So who knows how that's going to turn out? I guess we'll see, and then I guess that will probably determine how much support it gets, because you'll get a lot of guys that just say, "Well, I've got the complete show. Why do I need to go buy all of the pay all this money for all of this stuff?" So we'll see. But But it's exciting for me. I'm excited.
It's not crazy expensive anyway. Was it $50 or something like that? It's not like they're putting it out.
Yeah, no, it's not crazy expensive. Yeah, it's 3 LP, your normal 3 LP price or something like that. I'm sure the CDs are going to be cheaper. So
yeah.
But anyway, pretty cool.
Yeah,
and
no,
hopefully there won't be.
From,
And and hopefully there won't be a bent corner version.
no.
You know,
There will be a bent corner
There
version.
will 1,000,000% be.
Yeah.
I'm very excited for when that comes out and the boards just get flooded with mine was damaged, mine was damaged, mine has a
Right.
dinged corner, mine
That's
has
Joe's
a
favorite
wrinkled
day.
edge. Holy God.
Groups.
So
I
what's,
just
what's going on with Amazon then? So there's another thing that's been dropped on Amazon and pulled off again. Like are they getting announcements and just going, we're selling this right now way before they're allowed to?
Well, see, it happened with Target too, because before Amazon UK posted it, Target.com posted it about a week earlier, and I believe at the time they only had the CD listed, and it didn't have any
cover art, did they?
Yeah, it didn't have the cover art or anything. So what is happening is this stuff comes in to these companies in a data feed. So the new release information comes into a data feed, just like with us, and excuse me, and you know, you got somebody over there, if they're not paying attention to, you know, when this stuff comes into us, we look and it'll say this information is embargoed. You can set it up in your system, go ahead and get the jump on it, but you are not allowed to announce this until we officially announce it.
Yep.
And there's all kinds of stuff, information that's embargoed, like when the record store day list is sent to us. We are not allowed to send that to anybody, but they send it to us so we can set those titles up in our system. And so it just slipped through the cracks. It got posted on Target. It got posted on Amazon. As soon as the label saw it, they went directly to those places and said, especially Amazon UK, because they had cover art up, they said, you've got to pull it down. It's too early.
Wow.
You've broke embargo. So
I mean, it was kind of like the, you know, with the Killers thing. I mean, I have got an advanced copy right here. See, woo! I see it's Queen Jazz that I put in there, but kind of looked like it for a second.
That would have been convincing if you hadn't pulled the label off.
I know.
Well, it was nothing.
Was that Joe?
This one, I don't know.
Yeah.
That was,
Joe fell
that was a
asleep
soundboard
again.
problem.
But I did speak to Michael Kohler. Is it Michael Kohler?
Michael Kohler.
And he actually sent me some exclusive footage of it was Amazon going to the boss of Universal and asking whether they could actually print some more. And this is what he said. Nothing.
None of our
That's what
videos are
happened to me.
working.
That was the one that I hit.
Yeah, none of our videos are working. Okay.
Have you tried another one?
It's all working out.
Maybe it's just that one.
I think it's
Yes,
just
there you go.
Oh, hold on. Where's one of those fail? Hold on,
Yeah, right.
Nicholas. We need a better organization on this.
We had the best show the hour prior to starting.
That's right, Nicholas.
That-
You're fired.
Yeah, this is terrible. Thank God this isn't going to air.
It was good until you guys blew that. So I don't know.
Yeah. So here's the thing to me about is it called on the soundboard, off the soundboard?
Soundboard.
So here's the thing. It's kind of I dig the packaging as a one-off. I think that's kind of cool. But if they come out with 38 of these, are they all going to look exactly the same?
I bet they will. It's very similar to the instant live.
Yeah, the live 35.
Yeah, all of that stuff.
Kind of weird to me. I would have liked to seen some kind of some kind of element on there that at least changed, maybe like a concert shot, maybe something on the just do something that at least denoted a way where you could quickly kind of see when they're lined up or whatever, something that might be different about them.
I think what they're going for, and this isn't unique because
didn't Pearl Jam do something like this?
Well, Pearl Jam did their own. Did their own, but there were other kind of soundboard recordings that were released, 5, 6, 7 years ago. I think there was a Cinderella one. I think there was a Lynyrd Skynyrd one, and they all are very, naked kind of covers and stuff like that. And I think the idea is, they're trying to harken back you know, this is what bootleg covers used to look like. They were very simple, but now everything's elaborate, you know?
Well,
So
I get what
how
they're
cool-
going for. I just feel like if there should, I feel like from a design standpoint, it would have been nice to have one element on there
I agree.
that made them different. Because when you line these all up, are they going to use the same typeface that they're using for Tokyo, for Detroit, or Los Angeles, or whatever it is? It just seems to me like it's going to be so repetitive, because obviously there's so much stuff in the vault that they can use. Are you going to have 57 of these things, and they're just all going to be the same? So I think it would have been cool to add one little interesting bit in there that would have made them, and keep it largely the same, because I dig what they're going for. I get it.
Sure.
But, you know, something
But
different would have been
Why
fun.
not just make it show specific too? Like it's so easy to have a couple photos from that show that is the outer wrap.
what
Maybe
I'm
maybe the binding's the same, you know, of each show or something like that. But the front and backs have something. Like imagine if they came. Okay, we know they recorded it. What if they came out with the Cadillac show? I mean, are you kidding me? And then you had pictures from the Cadillac show in there. Like I'd buy 20 of them. You know, like that would be really cool. And then let's say the next one was this Tokyo show, but if it was show specific and the stuff inside of it that many of the bootleggers are already making anyways, that looks really amazing. You know, how cool would that be? That's
exactly what I mean. Take something that's show specific from that tour or whatever, and roll it into that still existing design, because I dig that kind of brown paper baggy kind of bootleggy thing. It makes total sense. But then do something else somehow. Yeah.
Just maybe just inside the gatefold is where you get that other little stuff. The outside is all the same, and just the inside there is something different. So.
Yeah, well, I'd spoken to Tom Jimin, who had actually designed that cover, and he was saying, he said it feels a lot better in person because it's that kind of, like the recycled cardboard feel. It's that real sort of, he said it doesn't, when you see it flat on a computer screen, it doesn't have the same effect.
Sure, of course.
As a fun thing. But Joe's point is 100% correct, because it's like, yes, if you keep repeating that KISS logo, it's going to be exactly the same. Could it have been something from the tour poster, or something that was specific, or the crew pass, or something that was from that actual era that changes and maybe gets stamped in different positions on each one as you
the
go
newspaper ad?
Yeah, exactly. So it still looks the same. It would still be grey paper with the black stamp. But yeah, you do wonder if once we're 4 or 5 in, the only thing different is just a couple of the words.
Those are all
the other thing
most too in that one. 3 of them.
The other thing that's weird to me too is that it's just such an odd choice to come out of the gate with, and it almost begs the question, why would you do that's so strange. Absolutely. Like, is it a Peter Criss issue because Peter Criss isn't on the thing? Like you wonder what it is. I don't and I don't know. Are there any legalities there? Is there anything? I have no idea. But it just feels like it's such a weird. You feel like if you're going to come out, especially for collectors, there's so much stuff that's been out in the bootleg circles for years and years and years. Come out of the gate with something heavy that people would be like, "Holy hell, this is amazing!" Right?
That's what I was saying about like the Cadillac show or something that's killer that we've been waiting forever for.
Right. And then you could pull back and do something like the 2001 show and honor all eras of the band. I think you should do that. And but it just feels like if you're really going to make that impact, come out of the gate with something super ridiculously cool, and go, wow, these guys mean business in this series,
There's no like really pro recording or pro shot video of Asylum. So like an Asylum era thing would be so cool.
There's several. There's good soundboards from Asylum tours. So.
Right, of course. But I mean, like official, let's say,
that's what I'm saying. No, I'm saying. I mean, there is plenty to choose from, is what I'm saying. You can represent the Asylum era very well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, Charlotte, I think, is a really good one that's circulated for a long time, but would be great, mastered properly.
Absolutely.
So,
But a lot of these things, even if there's things you may have seen on Kissology, just to have them on, record, or to be able to just play the music would be nice. Like I've seen Animalize live uncensored a billion times, but it'd be nice to just sit down and be working and put that on the stereo and actually listen to that, versus having I know you can turn your screen off, but you know what I mean. Like it's nice to actually just to be able to listen to you in your car or something as well.
You ever heard the radio broadcast of Animalize?
Full fidelity. Yeah.
You ever heard the radio broadcast of Animal Live Uncensored?
No.
Yeah, you need to hear that. It's amazing. They redid all the vocals on Animalize on the video.
On the video, it's been okay. So this is the original version, is it?
Yeah. The radio version is quite a bit different.
Mm.
So quite a bit different.
Interesting. So anyway, that's the kind of stuff that I think the deep Kiss fans, and that's really who this is targeted towards, right? That's the kind of stuff we all want to hear, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Give us the Alive show unedited. Give us the Alive 2 show unedited. Give us all the warts. That's what we want. We know it's there.
Right.
Everybody knows it. So let's hear it and let's see it. And it's not going to be embarrassing for the band. People are going to love it and want more of it.
Yep.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
And I think with that Rough and Ready cover, like it's not. Some people said, why don't they go to all the trouble of those, those high-end bootlegs? I go, but that's kind of, you accept that because that's a bootleg. But if an official product came out with all the beautiful bells and whistles that those things had, then it would be, you may listen to some of these things with the warts and all, and kind of going, this doesn't match what the package is selling. So that's why I understood the artwork, because what they're trying to say is this is rough and ready. You'll get flubs and everything like that.
Yeah, I totally dig the whole idea of it. I think it's cool. People have been dying for it for a long time, so let's get it off the launch pad and see what this thing does. I think it's cool.
Yep. Yeah, I think that'll tell.
All right. Anything else in New Confessions, Nicholas?
Nothing. No.
Nothing. No. Okay.
Yeah, it's been a bit quiet actually.
So should we? Do you two have? No, Jeff does. Do you two have anything to show?
Yeah,
New?
I got something minor. Yeah,
Yeah,
nothing. Have you got something? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Well,
It's going to be discussed before.
before we get there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna open it.
What's in the box? What's in the fucking box?
Love that. Every time it's still funny. Every single time.
Oh man.
At the end, we always talk about it. That's the
So good.
We've never been, other than the last few episodes, we've never been able to talk about it before because, we always edit that in. We used to edit that in.
Oh, that's right.
We weren't
Right,
watching it live. So.
Yeah.
So who wants to go first? Jeff's going last.
Okay, you go first, Jason.
Me? Okay.
Yeah.
I got a couple of things. I got a few things actually, but I'm only going to show a couple of things. I have one that I just got in today that I haven't even opened yet. So, but
Ooh.
I want to show this because I got this. I was lucky enough to catch this lot of vinyl for sale in another group. It wasn't in our groups, and I jumped on it first. And a gentleman was selling a lot of. It was mostly Mexican LPs, but it had, several other LPs like Monster Picture Disc and a US double platinum. But the reason why I jumped on it, there was a few Mexican LPs I didn't have. Dress to Kill. I'll show those at some other point in time. But this is the reason why I jumped on this lot. So I got this, and as we know, a lot of the Mexican releases have this little color code thing up here, and we've showed them on the show in the past. And it's not 100% in great condition, but a lot of Mexican vinyl south of us is usually in bad condition. But this is why
or north of me.
This is why I got it.
Yeah, that's awesome. The splatter.
Yeah, buddy. I believe this is the yellow-based splatter.
Yep.
And these are pretty tough to come by.
Yep, really cool.
And,
This was Jason when it came in.
Yes! Oh, yeah! Can you feel that, buddy? Huh? I have exorcised the demons. This house is clear.
and that
amazing.
exact ritual, it happens like 6 or 7 times a day at Jason's house when he gets the next Kiss thing in that comes in, and then the next thing, just that whole thing all day long. That's all it is.
That's right. So this one I got.
But going back to your record real quick, Jason, it's amazing how, exactly, getting stuff from Mexico, Argentina, it's usually not always in that, good of condition a lot of the times because it's a moist climate and all that stuff. Yep. Whereas almost everything we get from Japan is unbelievable.
That's right.
It's so clean. So yeah. So
we've talked about that a lot, and wondered if it was, we know that climate has a lot to do with how the cardboard and these materials kind of deteriorate.
Yeah.
But in Japan, not only do you have a better climate, a more conducive kind of climate, but you also have a what's the word I'm looking for? I'm completely blanking on the word.
Anyone?
What you talking about, Kimberly?
That's right. What's the word I'm thinking? Move. Somebody say something. I don't know. It's
Danny Debs.
Somebody say something.
Not culture. Maybe culture. But how they take care of things.
They have a super. They have a super. They definitely care.
What's that word, Jeff? What's that word?
I don't know, but I'll put it into the musical thing. So when we tour, right? When we land in Los Angeles on tour, our gear's everywhere. I mean, it's just tore up. You land in Japan, and all of your stuff's in a nice little pile with people around it, guarding it. They definitely have it down over there for sure. So maybe there's a higher level of care for
it's a cultural thing, it's a cultural thing. They respect everything,
Well, wasn't that the Beatles story? When they got there, there was someone with a clipboard which had, at 6:15 you leave the hotel room. At 6:22 you arrive in the lobby. So John Lennon would deliberately hold it back and hold the lift just to throw off their entire, and they'd all be freaking out because they hadn't hit the lobby at 6:22. So
it's really unbelievable still, so
yeah.
Okay, so
but I know on climate, I have a place in Miami and as well as California and Detroit, and the stuff in Miami, since it's so humid, like everything goes faster there just in that climate. Right. It just is, so if you don't leave the air cranking all the time, your records will warp, all that stuff. So
right
yeah.
So the second item I got in a trade with my buddy Les, who's in the groups and everything, and we were doing he was purchasing a Brazil box set from me that's in really bad shape. Well, I'd show it, but it might fall apart. And so, we agreed to a partial trade and just a little cash. And the thing I got from him, and this is not in the greatest of shape, but, didn't have to pay anything for it, does anybody know what that is?
Reel to reel?
That is a reel to reel. It's got some writing on the back, but this is the Alive 2 reel to reel.
Yep. One of the tougher reels to get to.
And here we go. Oops, my tape is falling.
That's cool.
If that was Nicholas, it'd be all pulled out right now during the show.
Let me fix this.
My favorite part of all these shows is when Nicholas ruins one of his collectibles, which is really terrible because you don't want that to ever happen. But
even my very first appearance, I think we did tour books way back in the day, and I pulled it out, and the first Alive cover, it went, the cover piece went came straight live on camera. I'm going, flipping it back up, but in Turby, I'm going, fuck, it's like the first one. It's like that's the one you want to keep mint.
This one, because it's true, this press kit sticks together, and when Nicholas was doing his, he's like, mine doesn't open.
Oh yeah.
And then he opens it and it's like, and the funniest thing is I put this little plastic on that. I don't know if you can see that, so that it doesn't stick. So yeah, but that one does stick.
Destroyer's, that's a good suggestion. I think I'll have to go through all of mine and do that.
Destroyer's sticky. It's some's a gatefold, some aren't. The Aussie versions aren't.
See how a real collector acts, Nicholas? Get your shit together, man. What the hell are we even doing on this show?
But I was looking for that flyer for Nicholas, and I've stepped on these army kits like 4 times already. So that's all right.
Oh yeah,
they're laid out all over the ground.
Rolling chairs. I mean, by the time the shows are done, right, we've torn out vinyl and all this other stuff, and it's all over the place. It's like,
be a guest on Kiss My Collectibles and watch your collectibles go down in value.
Yes, tear your shit right.
That's right.
All right, who's next, Nicholas or Joe?
I can go real quick.
Joe, go real quick.
All right. So I'm just going to burn through these because I've got 7 of them.
All right.
So Italian, Hotter Than Hell.
Yeah.
Ooh, cool.
Nice.
With the cool.
I love the blue down there. Yeah.
Yeah, down at the bottom is cool without the writing on it as well on the cover.
Is
That's
that,
that's
sorry,
one.
Joe, is that silver printed there on the cover, or is that just grey? Is that one of those ones where they haven't printed silver?
It is just gray.
Mm.
Yeah, just gray. So there's that one. Here is Singapore, Hotter Than Hell. Again, no writing. Really cool back.
Oh, the back.
Always wanted that version.
So cool.
Cool, right? Yeah, totally different. Awesome. Singapore, Creatures of the Night.
And in really great condition, too.
Look at that.
Awesome. Really nice. Yeah. No major differences on this one. Let me check the
What's
inside.
the label look like? Okay.
So you've got the
That's a nice shape.
film works.
Yeah, man.
It's
Beautiful.
really, it's a nice one. Yeah, this lot was really, really nice.
They all
buy them all
together
together?
in one?
What's that? I don't remember. I actually, you know what? This was from Discogs. So yes, this was all one lot on Discogs. Extremely reasonable too, which was crazy. So then I got this one, Singapore Elder.
Oh my gosh, look how nice. Oh,
that's cool.
I'm
That's
so
really
jealous.
cool. I've never seen that in person. Yeah, that's cool.
Just cover it up. Yeah, it's like to do our own.
Cool.
I'm so jealous, Joe.
Yeah, so that's a good one. Then I think in that same lot was this one. But again, just in amazing condition, Hong Kong Dynasty.
Oh, wow.
So pretty cool. Has the the hype sticker obviously there, and then just a couple of other kind of more common things. Not that those were extremely rare or anything, but what's cool about these. So this is a Canadian Alive 2. It's still in the shrink, which is cool. Right. So there's that one, and then a Canadian Alive, still with the store.
That's awesome.
I love the hype sticker. That's my favorite.
Yeah,
I love hype stickers.
And still the booklet's in there, so it's all in immaculate condition. So
Did you check
So
through
those
there
were-
thoroughly to make sure you didn't have a tour book in there?
I did not actually.
You should check
I'm
all
sure-
of your Alives.
You never know.
I'm sure it does. I'm sure it does not.
Yeah.
It'd be great if right on camera. Oh my God! I wish I would have. I wish I would have put one in here and been like,
Oh, that would be amazing.
and faked it like Nicholas.
Yeah. Oh, I've also got Queenstown.
Right. So there you go. That's been my record haul. So I've been kind of on the last couple of shows I haven't had much to show. These things have been ordered, but they've been coming from all over the world and via post that's been dodgy. So yeah, those all have come in since the last recording. So
Those
pretty cool stuff.
Singapore releases are amazing. That
And again, to find them
Elder
that
are
clean too. That's awesome.
Yeah, right. You just don't see them like that very often, which is cool. And you order on Discogs and you just never know what's going to happen. Right.
I still can't figure out why they can't just put like pictures on there, like real pictures of like whatever the person is selling on there. Like it's that generic picture, and then you got to ask for pictures, and you hope that you're getting that one. And
right.
Right.
I understand the release has got to have the main picture, but the person when they sell it should have to upload
actual
at least
ad.
one picture.
Yeah,
exactly.
Right. Yep.
Very strange.
Absolutely. So there you have it.
And look, clearly there's great deals to be had on there, but that's what has deterred me from using Discogs very much is it's a kind of a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a crapshoot, but when you get to this point in collecting, it's kind of the only way other than in collector circles to find this stuff.
True.
It just doesn't, eBay is a lot less specific. You just kind of see stuff up there. Where Discogs, you can really kind of drill down and find the exact release that you're looking for. At least a lot of times you can. Yeah, there's some information issues up there and that sort of thing. But generally speaking, if you're looking for some things, it's cool. You can go into KISS and then hit Canada and then hit vinyl, and then you see the stuff that's available and what am I missing. And that's how I found a non-segmented Rock and Roll Over sticker version was up on Discogs, because you can go into Canada, look for one that has the sticker in it, and so that's what I like about Discogs from a specificity standpoint.
I need to start paying more attention to them, because clearly there's a bunch of
that's
stuff
awesome
in your lot
Have
that
you
I would
been
love to have.
have you been happy with what you've received, like with what they advertised versus what turned up at your house, Joe?
It's funny. Almost always people are undergrading. I think they're almost really pretty good. There's been times where I've had people back and gone, look, this looks terrible, and you had it VG plus, and it's torn covers, or they'll look, sellers almost always downplay what the issues are, and buyers magnify what the issues are, right? So it's hard to kind of thread that needle, but I'd say 99% of the time I've been happy. People have been pretty trustworthy that way.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Good odds. Nicholas, you're up.
There you go.
Well, I bought a massive collection of promo ads because I'm getting like my usual thing. It's like I focus in on one thing and then just never come out of that little realm until something else distracts me, and then I'm back over this way. But at the moment, it's promo ads for whatever reason. Yeah, I'm not doing a book, so don't. No, it's just so yeah. I bought this collection it ended up being about 400 or 500 different promo ads, and a lot were doubles, but I have got some good stuff, so I've started putting them into the books if I don't wreck this, but you can kind of see I was getting a lot of stuff, and you've seen that one before, but ones like this where I hadn't really seen
that's
very much. But now I'm getting into, I always used to mock you crazy vinyl people, but now I can no longer mock because I got two versions of this, which I thought, but look, one's got a white frame around the edge of the picture.
Oh, wow.
So it's a variant. But everyone else would go, you've got a double there, sell that. And I'm trying to work out the left to right. Yes, the white key line around the picture makes it a variant. So
wow.
So that's what level of craziness I've now got into, and now I have no rights to insult the vinyl people the way I used to.
That's right.
Yeah, so I'll do that. There you go. I'm exiting.
All right.
I always get amazed when I look at the old ads, man. Those ads are really incredible, compared to it seems like most people nowadays don't have as much creativity with ads compared to those. I really feel like when I look at the old Kiss ads, they're really amazing. They jump off, like posters and stuff like that, they jump off the paper. At least to me, maybe it's because I'm just crazy about Kiss, but they really
it's these modern day designers over here.
Well, actually, one of the things that I've noticed is that is great about that is the regions were very different back then. So nowadays, if you designed an ad, it'd probably be sent out to all regions, and maybe just you're sizing it differently. But back then there was whole lot of totally different interpretation. I'll show it on a future one, but I've got a Smashes, Thrashes, and Hits ad where the background's bright blue. And it's from France, or there's a German Smashes and Thrashes where they're using yellow lipstick on pink ads, just totally different. Like their art department's gone, this is how we're interpreting the art for this. And I kind of like that back in the day, which you got different variances based on different regions. Whereas nowadays it'd be the same monster ad. Maybe they'll change the text to language specific, or change the logo for the German region. But you suddenly end up with a whole bunch of ads all looking exactly the same. They're
all coming from a central location now, right? There's a repository, and you just go up and you grab the ad you need, and you just use that and change the font and whatever. But back in the day, you have to believe that all these different art departments and all these different countries and publications and everybody was just being given certain assets, and we need to create an ad for it. So I think that's where all that stuff came from, and you're right, Jeff. It made for some really creative stuff that you might not otherwise see.
I think it just I'm always blown away when I see the old ads from the 70s. I'm just really blown away by them compared to even stuff that our art department uses for my own band and stuff like that. It's like, really, this is it? Can you do it more like Kiss did it? I just thought it was so cool the way that they
Could
did
someone
it.
get Dennis Wallach on the phone, please?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
And now and the modern art
77.
Right?
Exactly. And the modern art departments are like this.
There can be only one.
I couldn't figure a way to use that one, so I'll use it there.
That's right.
Joe,
Hi,
I'm
Jeff.
already doing your AirPod trick as we speak already.
See, you're. Yeah, I
There
told
you
you.
go.
I know, you warned me.
I told you.
I'm in and out. Okay,
Yep.
so like Nicholas, I kind of go through phases too, to where like, you know, I'm into one thing for a while, so I kind of go that way, and then I get into something else, and you know, my KISS ADD kicks in. But a couple things I got this week that were just kind of weird and different was this Dynasty shirt.
Now, do you think that is an original color, or did someone wash that with the colors at one point in time?
No, original color, for sure.
That's got to be an original color.
Yeah,
Just
original
kidding.
color. But that's why I liked it, because it was unlike the other 40 Dynasty shirts I have.
Sure.
You know, like just it's weird and cool, and it's a ringer, and you know, it's got all the little, you know, it's got the coin stuff, and the coin, and all that stuff. So I just thought that was cool and weird. I love stuff that's like odd, you know, because like this is really odd because it's, you know,
Oh my gosh.
unmasked. But wait, it gets weirder because it's this.
What?
Oh, wow.
Fake.
Right. So right. So parking lot.
Yeah, it's got to be a
cool.
parking lot, sure.
Yeah, for sure. But it's just cool parking lot, you know.
Yeah. Well, I agree.
So like this is something that I just will wear. I'll go get coffee in this because I think it's just weird and wild, and you know, it's got 3/4 links, so it doesn't show my bicep.
That's awesome.
But so I love that. And then on the cooler front, this is something that I didn't have, and I'm really happy to have. So.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
And that's a tough one.
Yeah, that's one of the harder ones to find.
This is one of the harder ones, yeah, and it's pretty much perfect. And actually, it has the obi for it inside and the reservation card and everything for this, which is kind of weird. Yeah.
So can you tell everybody who's listening what we're looking at here, Jeff? What is that?
Yeah, so this is KISS. I believe this is which one is this, Nicholas? Live 2, maybe?
Yeah, it's like Live 2. Yeah.
Live 2, I think.
Live 2, yeah.
Yeah, and it's a Japanese folio, but it's one of the tougher ones to get.
That's really hard to find that one, yeah.
Yeah, it's a really, really tough. Do you
want to read out what the songs are on that one for the people?
Yeah.
Which are the ones?
So, and they're actually like real song titles. Detroit Rock City, Calling Dr. Love, Shout It Out Loud, She, Sweet Pain, I Want You, Rock and Roll All Night.
Yeah, it's a weird mix.
Interesting.
Yeah,
and it doesn't really match the cover pictures at all. Like
no, not at all. Which is cool because they're, you know, like the fantasy photos pretty much, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
And then
I love the color scheme too. That's so cool and so retro.
So cool.
It's awesome.
And then inside it had like the reservation card, if you can see that, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. Cool.
And then you know, they did, you know, obies for these as well that kind of wrapped around the book.
Right.
Which is cool. And then I believe this was the price tag thing that went there, but also worked as like a bookmark.
Excellent.
Wow.
2000.
Oh, that's beautiful. That just looks
I've got lots of obies with the ones that I've got, but I've never seen the price tag or bookmark thing. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty cool. So
that is
Love
incredible.
It. That's amazing.
Fun stuff. I'll probably step on it before the show's over.
Well, like you were saying, Jeff, like the condition that they keep those things in is just amazing.
Amazing.
That looks immaculate.
Absolutely
Considering
amazing.
how old that thing is, it's great.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. So this is one that I just, you know, that I've wanted for a long time and never was able to get, and got it. So I'm pretty happy
How long
about that.
ago did you get that one in the collection?
Just like a couple days ago.
Oh,
so
great. That's awesome.
I feel like if we're doing in the box, it's got to be from like the last, you know, 3, 4, or 5 days or something, a week.
Do you have that
Very
one,
cool.
Nicholas?
No, that's one that I don't have actually. Yeah,
Wow.
that's a super rare one. That one I've never seen on eBay. I've just only seen.
Yeah,
yeah.
Was
I've
that a
never seen
private buy, Jeff, or was it?
It is. I could tell you if you'd like to know where I got it.
No,
Okay.
I was just curious if
it's from-
you
it's
actually
from
found
somebody-
that online or
No,
was it
it's
private
from
buy?
somebody that we all know. Yep.
Got it.
And I'm very happy to have it. Like, you know, usually if I get something or if I sell something, I never say who I did it with, just so I don't want to make anybody upset.
Of course not. Yeah. No, I wasn't asking that at all. I was just curious.
No, of course. But yeah, I've never seen it online for sale.
Wow.
It's like that one and Peter solo, man. It's like I've never seen them. You know, so and Peter solo, I think, is probably the toughest.
Wow.
So
wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
So those are my main newest ones. So
that's what's in his box.
What's in my box?
All right. So let's move into the collector spotlight.
Yeah, so
I have it right here. This death light right here.
That's right, the interrogation light, right?
Yeah.
So if that was the newest part of your collection, how did this all start? Is it the kind of the same story as everybody else, or do you have a different story?
It's funny watching those because you'll see people that they're like, oh, why you have to ask that question? But that's my favorite question. Is because it is all the same, but it is all different at the same time.
Sure. Right.
Why did we all get mesmerized by this incredible band? What did it? So for me, it's kind of funny. I was 3 years old and I went to Harmony House Records and Tapes on Southfield and Ford Road. Okay.
Of course. Yeah.
And my sister wanted to get Fine Young Cannibals, if you can believe it, So they have to have It Drives Me Crazy. We're not doing it that way anymore. I forgot. I should have had it on my own.
Yeah, right.
Or my mom was getting that and she was getting MC Hammer, something like that. But I went and, I'm like 3.5 years old and I see the, Kiss Alive 1 in the record bin. They had like these 99-cent records that you could buy because they were, records were on their way out. So they were used records that were there. And as soon as I saw it, I had to have it. And literally I'm 3.5 years old. Like, why did I have to have that? But I had to, and I cried.
I have to interject and ask, you're 3.5 years old in what year?
So this would have been like 1987, 88.
Oh.
Range. Yeah.
So you're young.
So, yeah. So, I
don't ask them their age.
Yeah.
How very dare you?
Now they're gonna have to change all the press releases. This guy's older than I thought,
Exactly.
Okay.
All the
He's 74.
Yeah, I know, right? So I saw it, and it just blew my mind. I mean, like, what blows your mind when you're 3.5 years old? And I cried. My mom, bless her heart, she's the greatest woman in the world. She bought it for me. It was 99 cents, so probably why, but I I don't remember anything from being 3.5. My mom will say, do you remember when you got lost in the woods? Nope. Do you remember when you would squirt the neighbors with a hose? Nope. But I remember coming home and I can still smell the smell of that record when I pulled it out, and the dust off my parents' record player to dust it off because they had to help me get it out to put the record on. Like, I can still visualize that like it was yesterday. So why what's the MSG in that record that hypnotized me? But it did. And then it was just a whole nother level once I played it, because I had heard tons of music. My parents were listening to like Journey and stuff like that around the house, but when I put that on, it fried my brain. Like, I couldn't believe it, and that was it, man. As Peter would say, I was hooked on rock and roll, or as Nicholas would say, that's the kind of sugar Papa likes. But that
Joe would not say that.
Joe would not say that.
No, Joe was like, well, what would Joe say?
I hate you. I hate you. I don't even know you, and I hate your guts.
That is exactly what Joe would say.
You matter to me. So anyways, but that was it, man. And then from then on, it was Kiss. Now, what was weird though was, like, I just knew that as Kiss. So I didn't know that there was more to it. And as I got a little bit older, I found out they had more albums and more things. So I'd go and my mom would buy me like the next 99-cent one that I would find out of there and stuff like that. And I would always judge the cover by what I thought looked coolest. So, I didn't know anything about the music or what material was inside of those records and all that, but I'd look at the covers, and I can totally remember seeing The Elder and being like, I didn't like this because I didn't think it was really Kiss because they weren't on there,
Mm-hmm.
And I think my second album I got was Love Gun, and it probably again because of the cover, and that was it. And all I wanted for like birthdays, Christmas, everything was Kiss stuff, but there was really no Kiss stuff around that time that my parents could buy for me. And at this time still I'm totally thinking that they still wear that makeup and everything.
Right.
So January 17th 1990, Hot in the Shade tour, my mom takes me to the concert. And, we have the very last seat in the very top row, like as far back, like the worst possible seat you can get in the dead center of Kobo, And we went to the concert, and I remember I'm just sitting like this. Because I'm like, what is this stuff? Like there's these bands playing, and my mom's like, oh, these are the opening bands, but Kiss is going to come on. And then Kiss comes on, and I'm like this.
This sounds like my story.
I know. I wrote
except 15 years earlier for me.
And I couldn't believe it because I know that they're playing these songs that I know, but that's not Kiss. And I didn't get any of it. And I was so upset. But when I got home, I was still kind of happy, and I did love it because it was loud and it was cool, and seeing the people there, the environment of it. But I had no idea that they didn't have makeup on anymore.
Right.
And my mom had to explain that to me and stuff like that. But I did, all the classic things. I'd buy the albums, and I would go out, and the first thing I'd do is run out and mow the lawn and get an allowance. And I would put it in the envelope and then send the envelope off to get, the keychain from Ace's 78 solo album. And then nothing would come, and I would put, because it was cash. I never got it back. I never got anything back, but I kept sending it. And as a kid, you don't know what's going on. I thought maybe that they didn't like me, or I wasn't a good enough fan or something, because I had no idea, and I wasn't telling my mom that I'm sending my money to this.
Sure.
I'm like, Mom, can I have $5 to go play the video game, down at the corner? No, I didn't get in here and buying Kiss. That never comes. So
wow.
Eventually I got to the age where I knew what was going on, and those, you don't do that anymore, and learned all my lessons. But I was so transfixed, man. I didn't want Transformers or anything else. I wanted Kiss stuff, and that's the first level of magic for me. Why why did that do that to me and to all of us that easily and that intensely?
It's so funny, you talk about the stories being the same, but almost all of us, when we talk about this, can remember that moment where
Absolutely.
that spark hit, and it lights the fuse for almost the whole rest of your life. And it's inexplicable. But you're right, you can smell it, you can taste it, you can feel it, all of those things. There's a couple of times throughout my life where I could close my eyes and just remember what it looked like and felt like at that moment, and it involves Kiss. When I went and got tickets for the Asylum tour with my dad, I remember that down to the the molecule of that moment. And my dad would probably have no idea what I was talking about. I remember going the kid across the street. It was his birthday, and I remember we went to the record store that was on 13 and Gratiot, around in that area, and it might have been Record Time, I think. At that time. Yeah. It's not. Yeah, it's not there anymore. But we went there to buy the neighbor kid a record, and it was, I think, 1978-ish, I think, and he wanted the Village People record, and so we bought this kid the Village People record. And I bought Kiss Alive too. My dad bought it for me at the store.
Unbelievable.
And I remember those things. So it's so interesting, and how nebulous and elusive that thing is that has just sucked us all in, for all these years. It's crazy.
Totally. And my first piece of merch I can vividly remember too was the Donruss cards, because I went to a garage sale in the neighborhood, and there they were, and my mom bought them for me. I think just a whole big box of them for 25 cents or something like that. But I can still remember looking at those nonstop. I think my eyes are not nearly as good now, because at the time they felt like they were this big. You could see every little thing in those pictures and stuff, and I was just 100% transfixed. And, of course, all I wanted to do after that was play. It started with drums, like Jason. I just wanted to play. Ace was my favorite, but I wanted to play drums, which was weird. And, then I just, that was it. And it all kicked off, So.
So, Jeff, do you remember the Coney Island? Which Coney Island was your favorite? Did you like Lafayette or did you like American? And were you in Southfield or Roseville when that happened?
National.
Yeah. So there you
So,
go. Yeah.
but that's what started it for me for sure. And then from there, I remember the first thing I went to, again, my mom, bless her heart, she took me to the London, Ontario KISS convention after the concert. And I believe that was maybe like
95.
I don't know, maybe 92, because I want to say, I feel like it was
was
before
it a fan convention?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. It wasn't the official convention.
Gotcha.
It was a fan convention. It was because it was right before I went to see the Revenge show at
Gotcha.
the Palace of Auburn Hills.
Yep.
So, and I went to that, and then it was a whole another world because I saw all these other people that were like me. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that was where I met some really integral people in my life and in my collecting life of KISS, was at that, because I was just a kid, but I was so inquisitive, like if I'd see something, I was just like, the annoying kid. I was like, what's that? What do you do with that one? What's that? When did that come out? How much is that? I was just crazed. And I guess I was catching up with all those years at that time. And I remember getting, certain little things at that expo or convention or whatever we were calling them at the time. I think it was called Kisteria, the London KISS convention. Kisteria, I think is what it was called. And I remember coming home from that, and that was where I learned that there was bootleg VHS tapes of the concerts. So then that led me to a place, Joe will know, called Rock of Ages.
Oh, of course.
On Ford Road, Ford Street, and a legendary place. And if you walked into that place and you went into the back, there was like the bootleg section, which wasn't allowed, but it's like, it's there. And then I saw like the Inner Sanctum and all these things, and then I'd get that stuff, and then that started it, and then that led into I was off and running.
Yeah.
So,
very cool.
That was what's that?
What's that?
You're missing a digit, Nicholas.
Oh,
yeah. For more old-timey Detroit stories. Yeah.
Back then they didn't have it.
It's so old-timey. There was only 6 digits in our phone numbers back then.
Yes. Yeah. You didn't even have an area code.
That's right. So
so that was the start of it, and then from there, that's when I really started getting into collecting, because some of the people that I met at that London show ended up living in Dearborn, Michigan, so they were pretty close. And they were older, but I would tag along with them. And when I went over to their houses, it was crazy because they had like KISS collections.
Yep.
So then I went to these other guys' houses. Then I saw all this stuff, and then I'm like, okay, that's what I'm going to start doing, is doing what they're doing in collecting. And
so are you like 10 years old at this point in time? Or
no. Now I'm probably like, let's see, maybe like I would say about that. Yeah, probably like 11.
Because again, it's like, this is crazy. Like my story is, I think the first KISS collection I saw was Danny Dad's Take a Drink, Everybody. I was 11 years old. And just
and it's
mesmerized.
Similar to that. Like, why in the world did my mom allow me to go?
Yes.
Because we didn't know who these guys were. And let me tell you, these two dudes. I won't mention names, but these two guys. Did not look like somebody that you'd want to send your kid with. I mean, they were like full curmudgeon KISS collectors, where it's like, only wore sweats, and
hey mom, this guy wants to show me a KISS over at his house.
but it was amazing. So I would like, any chance I got to go over there and like look at the stuff, and when you're that age, man, you take stuff in so quick. So I would look at it, make mental notes of it all and stuff. Sure. So long story short, they would go to like the KISS conventions. I went and saw Revenge, and then around, I think it was 94, we did the Detroit, the Troy Marriott convention, where Gene and Paul came in and took back their
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So we went to that, and these guys were so hard into it that they'd go early, right, and go up to the hotel rooms and get like the stuff beforehand.
Sure.
So since I wasn't cool enough, I would have to wait outside to give them my money. And like the best drug dealer in the world, right? I'd give them my money, and then they would go in and get, like, they'd tell me what was in there. And I didn't know what I was buying, you know, but I'm like, all right, let's do it. You know, I mowed 300 lawns for this. But it was insane because we talk about how high prices are now, right? But back then, you know, to see something from Australia, like a Crispies box or something, like you paid whatever they were asking, man, because you're never going to see it again. And, you know, that kind of stuff was unheard of here in the States because unless you were pen paling with somebody, it was really hard to find that kind of stuff.
Right.
Sure.
So I remember paying really crazy amounts for things that have come down, whereas other things like, you know, like right here, like, you know, the French puzzles all sealed, they're back in there. But, you know, I could just go over to Canada and find that stuff.
Right.
So, but that was the first thing. So then I would, you know, I'd get stuff at the conventions and do the conventions, and that was huge. And I even pulled out like some stuff here. Here, I'll show you a couple things.
Yes, show some things.
Which is kind of funny from that. So this was like early me. I found some of this stuff. So this was July 13th, 1997, but this is at the Troy Marriott, and Lydia and Bruce. You know, these were like my early convention things, you know, where I would go and get these signed. And
that's cool.
Yeah, and look, I mean, they still look perfect because I would like save them. And
sure.
I didn't have anything to get signed. I'm getting like the Troy Marriott thing.
Will you sign this letterhead for me, please?
I got the Carol Roberts wedding, the Mitch Implant Institute, and a Kiss Expo thrown in there.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool, though, I think.
So those.
Actually, I was meant to say puppet show then.
Right.
Well, and the band lasted way longer than that Carol Roberts wedding.
Yeah, exactly.
And I pulled these up because these were with it just to show. But these were this was that first video thing. I don't know if anybody remembers this, but this was like the first thing you could order away in Roseville, Michigan, Joe, to get the videos.
Well,
There
I
you
wonder if that is.
Was
Does
that
that say Kiss video?
Mark Cicchini, was it?
Yep.
I was going to say it's probably Mark Cicchini. Yeah.
Yep. Back in the day, and then these are like all my drawings from when I was a little kid.
Oh.
Right. And of course, we all did this one. We did the.
What is that?
Oh yeah, the stencil. Yeah, like not the stencil, but yeah, the etching almost,
Yeah,
right,
like-
where you're rubbing the graphite over top of the double platinum. Yeah.
And this was my original folder from when I was little.
Oh.
Look at the I Love Kiss for my sister's like stickers, you know. And this was just all my stuff. This was like my Bible, man. When I was a kid.
That's awesome.
And, so
it's so cool that you still have that.
Yeah, so I always kept. There's a couple of these things, but I always kept this stuff to always remind me where it all started. And this is what it's all about for me, like the love. That's why, like, I always like collecting. For me has always been a positive thing. I always want to, you know, keep it positive. That's why sometimes I stay off
Facebook.
Yeah, I stay off Facebook and stuff because the negativity of it, like there's no negativity in Kiss for me. You know,
I agree.
It's like the thing that makes me most happy in a lot.
It's amazing you come on our show because Joe is part of it.
Not even no. That's not a negative aspect.
No. And Bang Bang You, and a couple of those could stay out, but you know, for me,
we got to talk.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I can find some negativity.
No, exactly. But what I'm saying is, like in the
I get it. The spirit of it. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
So to speed it up a little bit, so the same guys that, you know, I'd go over to their house and do all that. He ended up, you know, getting a girlfriend and all that kind of stuff, and we were all growing up and getting married. So when he was going to get married, he was like, I got to sell my collection because I'm getting married because we're going to buy a house. So that was, luckily at that time, I was already, you know, I was teaching guitar all the time. I was just before, I was already touring with different groups and things like that, but it was pre-Eminem and stuff like that. But I had money saved up. And so I said, okay, I'm going to buy your collection. So I bought his whole collection, and that was what got me into the whole. Then I just had a bunch, because he had like really, really tough pieces for that time period, because again, there was no eBay, there was no online stuff, but yet he would have like all the Aussie bags, or he had, you know, the cereal boxes, or he had, you know, Japanese vinyl, which was really not around at that time.
No.
So he had that stuff. So I knew what it took for him to go and get all that stuff. You know, like he worked at it, man, like all day. So when I bought his collection, I was very honored to have it, and it was awesome. Fast forward a year later, and he's going through a divorce. Yeah, so she files for divorce a year later, and now I'm like, oh man, I feel terrible, you know? I ended up giving him back like 30%, maybe 40% of the collection, just free, because I felt so bad.
Wow.
By this time too, I was kind of, you know, getting into my music career was starting to go, and I was just going, and this was around maybe like 2002. I moved to LA in 2005, so maybe like around 2002. And at that point, you know, I was kind of like, I had it. You know, we all kind of go through this at some point a little bit, I think. You know,
Sure.
I just felt so bad for him, man, you know, because he did so much for me, getting me into it, that I'm like, all right, whatever you want back. And of course, since he's so knowledgeable, you know, he takes back all the great items that he loves. And I'm like, really, you want to take that? You don't want to take that one. I think I want that one, you know. He took all that, and then that was when I was just like, all right, you know, I can't be doing this anyways. I'm a musician, you know, I got to, you know, focus on my career, and I started putting everything in bins. So that's where we get up into the modern day. So I put all the kind of this stuff in bins, moved to Los Angeles, 2005, fast forward to coronavirus, like last year, right? So of course, throughout all these years, I went to every show I could, you know, and, you know, I became good friends with Ace, you know, played on, you know, Nick Simmons's album. So I met Gene and Paul many times, you know, so just in the industry, you know, I got to know all the guys pretty well and stuff like that. But it was still, you know, I was trying to do my career, but anything I saw of Kiss, I'm like, oh, I should probably get that, or, you know, little things I'd see, I would get. And in the early days of it, going back for a second, like anything I saw, I bought. And Jason, we talked about this a little bit. If I went to a garage sale and I saw a horrible copy of Rock and Roll Over Songbook that, you know, had, you know, dog pee on it or something, I bought it because I had to save it and take it home and clean it and put it in plastic, and I just bought it, you know. So
I've done the same thing, man. I've got so many mangled pieces in the basement that I just can't bring myself to throw away.
Wow.
You know, UB40, I'm like, this is garbage. But Kiss, I'm like, oh, look, this one we're gonna restore this one.
Right.
So it's so cool. And I had this, like, you know, I've always had the collector's bug with guitars and with Kiss and stuff like that, but with this stuff, it was almost like I wanted to protect it in a way. Like I really if I didn't like the person that had it, I would just do whatever I could to buy it from them so that it was in a good place or something, you know? And it was just really, really weird. The compulsion was never financial for me. It was never, you know, anything like that. It was just to be able to hold it and look at it, you know, and see it. And, you know, that was precious. Exactly. Exactly. So when I put everything in bins to put it away, because, you know, I was moving away from home, and you know, that was, what was I going to do with all this stuff?
Right.
Put it all in bins. Went up to Los Angeles, but, you know, of course, I would still buy stuff. You know, any new release that came out, or, you know, Kisteria came out, all that kind of stuff. I bought it all just because I had to still have it. And around 2011, when I started playing for Sebastian Bach, he kind of got me back into vinyl, you know, because we'd be on tour, and if he was having a bad day, since me and him were together all the time, you know, I would always bring up Kiss because it would immediately change the vibe, right? Well, if we had a horrible thing with crew or load in or sound check wasn't right or something like that, I'd be like, dude, what's your favorite Kiss album? And then bam, we're back. It would save the day. So, and it also started. So me and him would go and look for records and stuff like that, and that really the collecting thing started again, but with vinyl. And I was constantly just shipping vinyl home all the time, and that was when I really started, saying, okay, I'm going to get all the Japanese vinyl because I think it looks the coolest, and then I'm going to get all the U.S. vinyl, but I'm going to get it all sealed, every copy sealed, and then that kind of all started. So my room, at my house in Burbank was just lined with records. I had to have them out again, but like literally you'd walk in and it was just lined all the way around the entire, living room and bedrooms and everything with albums so I could see them.
Right.
Wow.
Girls didn't love it, but I did. So, to fast forward a little bit, because I think we only have a 5-hour episode today, but, coronavirus hits and, we're all home. Everything's starting to happen. And, I felt myself starting to look again. So I started following, J5's Nights in Satan Service. I started watching Kiss My Collectibles, really poorly done show. Started watching that.
I hate those guys.
I know. I started watching.
I'm sorry. That's all we have. That's all the time we have.
Thanks for joining it.
Maybe, maybe not. Maybe fuck yourself.
Exactly. But so I started, looking at that stuff and watching the episodes, and I could feel it,
percolating
again. Yeah,
bubbling up.
The collector's bug just started. So I made a horrible error, and John had posted something on the site, and I said, oh hey man, actually, this is this, and I have this, and this if you need it, because he was just getting into vinyl at that time and stuff like that. And like 2 seconds later, phone rings, J5, right? And I'm like, oh hey, and immediately we're just off and running, like kindred spirits and two brothers that, we're from the same area, of course, and we've known each other in music, but now it was like Kiss. And sure enough, man, he just gets me right back in, and I'm like talking every day, and I'm just like full thinking of this again, and I'm like, damn you, J5, and
we say that all the time.
So since we were all like locked up in our houses, I decided I would do something kind of fun, and I started doing these Kiss coronavirus care packages, of course, all spelled with K. Keep it Kiss-like.
I didn't get any.
No, you didn't. But we weren't friends at that point yet. And so I can show you the videos. Actually, they're funny. I would put a care package together, and then I would drive it over to a friend's house. And John got the first one, and I made one up, and I drove it over and put it on his porch, and then hightailed it out of there. And that was like the very first Kiss coronavirus care package for COVID, basically. And here, so check this out.
Crazy Hair Don't Care, driving to deliver this Kiss care package to my good friend John 5 because we're all in this Corona lock-in.
Yeah, so there's a box down there and everything, and there's the box. Oh wait, maybe you can't see it.
Straight. Then use the right 3 lanes to take.
There it is.
There you go. Yeah, okay, we saw it.
So, and I would drive it over and drop it off, and then, say, hey, look, go on your porch, and there'd be something there. So, funny thing is, I did it with a couple other people, but then when I'd go back to John's, there'd be something else there for me, to Jeff. So I would take the package and go, and that's kind of how it all started. And we were just dying. Like, we wouldn't even wave hi to each other or anything. It was just like, take your package and go, like, and that's kind of how it all started. So coronavirus hits full on, and I decided I'm going to come back to Detroit, to see my family, to make sure, because I didn't want them to go grocery shopping or anything. I didn't know what this thing was, nothing. Right. So I'm like, all right, so I'm going to go back home. And then, as soon as I get home, phone rings, J5, hey, that's where you got all that stuff, right? I'm like, oh, yeah, I do. I have it all in bins. It's like, I start pulling it out. And I'm like, oh, man, and it's all like literally like under the stairways, and like, it hasn't been out since 2005. Sure. But it was the best thing that could have ever happened, because not only, like Kiss saved coronavirus for me because there was nothing to do besides sit around and play guitar. It literally gave me something that took up my whole day. And going back and pulling these things back out and having something like John to share it with made me feel like I was, 13 years old again. And it's so funny. My mom would come down and I'd be like, Mom, get out of here. I'm on the phone with John. We're talking Kiss. Go upstairs.
You were 13.
Hey, Mom, meatloaf. No,
Meatloaf. I wish we had that clip.
That one. I don't have that one. I need that one.
Well, it was just so funny. And my mom was just so, mom and my dad, they're the coolest about it because they were kind of, obviously as a musician, we're not doing anything. And, it really gave me something to do again. And every bin I pulled out was like Christmas morning again. I got to relive it and find things I didn't even know I had and stuff. So, and then I had somebody to share it with. I had John to share that with. We would just talk all day, like we were literally like 15 and be like, what do you think they were thinking about with this? Or what do you think happened there? And like literally, like kids again. And it was the greatest thing. And then, man, I was back in. I couldn't get to IKEA fast enough to go buy cases and
wow.
Good. All your
Well, it's kind of a lot of collectors have said it's been like a little endorphin rush, during these lockdown times and that. The mailman arriving and you getting your little Kiss hit. It's been like it's a little bit of happiness, at this time when you couldn't get out as much. So it's I think a lot of people are experiencing the same thing.
It was a pain.
We actually have some behind the scenes. We have some behind the scenes footage, I think, Nicholas, don't we, of an argument that John and Jeff won?
It's an inanimate fucking object.
You're an inanimate fucking object!
I think that's when things. That's
That's
when things
so crazy that you had that.
When a look.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I had to take all my Beanie Babies and Precious Moments out of these, and they were still close to me. And John's like, "Those suck," and I'm like, "Those suck,"
That is hilarious.
So what we're looking at behind you, that really has just been assembled during the last year?
Yes. Well, in the last maybe like 6 months. But this is only some of it, and this is only, Kiss Museum East. I also have a ton in Miami and a ton in Los Angeles.
Well, let's clarify that, Joe. You didn't purchase all of that in the last 6 months.
Right.
You just put it all up in the last 6 months.
The assembly.
Yeah.
Right.
So, Jeff, I'm going to buy you a plane ticket. You're going to come down here and you're going to set all my shit up, right? I'll leave the house so there's no
Dude,
COVID.
I love it so much. My thing, I love setting it up so much. But once it's set up, I hate moving anything. Like if something falls, I'm like, oh my God. It's like stubbing your toe, Like, really? That patch fell over? You got to be kidding me.
Great.
Mom, did you touch my stuff?
Yeah.
And that's the funniest thing is this is my parents' house. So if you can see this, I'm in the furnace room. Like there's a Christmas tree here and storage and all that kind of stuff. And this is the most that they were going to let me do, but it's everywhere now. If you go out there, it's everywhere out there. Like one table set up that just has, I'm going through this phase right now where I'm taking like every ticket to every show and putting it with every newspaper clipping from that show and then the backstage pass for that show and just putting it all together. Because John's doing all the tickets. So I'm like, oh, really?
Right.
Yes. So I'll put it all together. And then there's tour books out there. There's just stuff everywhere, So luckily I've been able to kind of take it over, but there's a ton down in Miami. I showed you a few things when I was down there last.
Amazing things that he showed.
I wish I had some of that stuff here, but that was it. So I really got to thank, me and John have become such great friends. I already feel like I'm friends with you guys. And in my life, some of the best people and the people that are lifelong still my friends I've met through Kiss.
Me too.
Collecting or a concert or just, hey, do you like Kiss? Yeah, I like Kiss. All right, man, you're my best friend,
Unfortunately, it also brought me Joe and Nicholas. So.
Right.
That's right.
It's not always 100%.
So while we're doing this, hold on. We might as well keep this fun and weird. So I won't pull it out, but I'll show you the video. So,
don't pull it out.
No, you can't see it. But it's fully inside, which is really weird. When J5 got the amazing UK order form bracelet and and stuff, and he posted it up, I didn't remember having it. And then when I looked, I was able to find that I did. So I told you guys about that video. So I was going to show you the shower video if you want to see it.
We get to see that here exclusively.
Is this the shower video? Is this like the peak note?
We've all seen you shower.
I guess better than I can just tell you. So anyway,
Jeff George's shower video. I can't.
I didn't know I was going to take I put the bracelet on, which is in there, and it's the studded bracelet, and put it on, and then wash my hair and all this kind of stuff. And I sent John a video of me like, oh, dude, and the new shampoo is amazing, and I don't hear anything back. So I'm like, the heck? I'm like, did you watch it? He's like, no, I didn't watch that video. Like, no, watch the video, and it's just funny because I had the bracelet on, so all that stuff. But that was the stuff that kept it, that is what keeps it fun for me.
Sure.
And just being able to talk, to do this kind of stuff. I mean, like just to joke around and just, this stuff is so much fun. And that's really how I got here and how I got to you guys and how I got on this, this show right now.
I look forward to my daily Nicholas Buckland shower videos. They're excellent.
Yeah. In the skin.
Oh my God! I'm gorgeous!
Fools, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
But what I was going to say about John 5, John had just told
Oh
me
no!
Oh no!
Now wait till you see the wrist, though.
That's just like odd. So just in here doing a little Friday night clean. I just wanted to tell you, I should have listened to you much earlier on. You are exactly 100% correct, as always. This thing was really clean.
That's great. That is great.
Well, there you go. Those.
No, sir, I don't like it.
And also,
That's it. I'm out of here.
Show's over.
That's it.
Yes.
So it's an amazing story, Jeff, and it's it's inspiring.
Did you say why you have them in different houses? What was the reason the collection is not all in the one place? Like, why is that?
Good question. So obviously I bought a lot of stuff, throughout the years after not being, here. Like I'd only come home, all the time for like holidays, Christmas, Thanksgiving, stuff like that. So everything that I had bought since like 2005 is in Los Angeles. But then I was going between Los Angeles and Miami, and everything I bought in Miami is down there. So what started happening was I bought a collection, and it was a pretty big collection, and that is an amazing collection that came from a guy who grew up in Lakeland, Florida, and we know some things that came from Lakeland, and that's where he was in the armed forces, but also worked at Lakeland Civic Center and was the security for bands and stuff when they played there, including Kiss and stuff. So he ended up passing on. Amazing dude, and I bought his whole collection. So that's all in Miami, which is a lot. It was a couple of, put it this way, it was 3 trips with a big F-250, the whole film. So
all vintage or all areas?
All eras, but mostly vintage. But his thing that he really loved was, he loved paper goods. And so I have a stack, like, I was just talking with her Strid because I got to send him these pictures, but I have a stack like this high that's just every Aussie, newspaper. And you would probably like that, Nicholas, too, and he loved print stuff. And there, that kind of stuff was heavy and big, and it was tough to move and all that stuff. But posters, I mean, there's probably 300 or 400 sealed posters.
Wow.
And some amazing one of a kind items that that you saw. that and one that I'm going to show. Actually, I guess I could show it now.
Yeah, let's that was where I was heading. Let's show some of the pieces that you brought out.
This one I brought home because I wanted to show it. So this is. Have you guys ever seen this?
Come closer.
Okay.
Closer, Clarice.
What does it say?
I can't read it. It's a bit hard to read off the screen.
Okay, so it says SHE welcomes America's greatest rock and roll band, Kiss, for their first Miami appearance of Shout It Out Loud. We love you from your friends at WSHE, March of '76.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Now,
cool.
what this was, this came from Bill's collection. Can you see that?
Yeah. Oh, I see it. That's good.
Yeah,
that's a
better
good angle
now.
right there.
Yeah.
America's greatest rock and roll band. Yeah, that's great.
Wow.
So when they played High Ally on that tour, they played Shout It Out Loud before, Destroyer was out.
Right.
And that was the first time they had played it live. And there's our lovely Bill of Coin with it.
Oh, wow. Great.
So this was presented to them by the radio station on stage, and that's an award. And
Amazing.
yeah, so that's a really cool piece. And this one came out of that amazing, Lakeland stuff. So
that is a great piece.
Yeah, it's really cool. So that's something that I really. Hey, whose dog?
Yes, our dog.
What's
Kill it.
So
he hasn't found a snake.
that's a really a cool one. Should I show some more?
Yes, show some.
Yeah, let's do it.
We're to that point.
Okay.
Show us some cool
I didn't know
stuff.
if you wanted more story.
Is there more story?
Oh my God, I could go on forever. It's all made up, so of course. We haven't gotten to the stand yet. So I tried to pull some things out that I thought were maybe things that hadn't been shown, or that were a little bit of a myth buster maybe. And that was one of the things that I was talking with you about, Jason, was this, because there was a battle between J5 and Nicholas Buckland about this belt buckle,
right?
Whether or not it was official and whether or not it was old. And that's the original flyer from 1975. So it's an early one.
Does it have the copyright on it? Do we still know if that's official, or is it just from 1975?
Well, the belt buckle is definitely from Ludlow from 75. But I don't think it's a coin belt buckle. It's era.
Era specific.
Yeah. So then another one, since we had some good talks about press kits over the week, I figured I would bring this one out because this is one of my favorite episodes, and I have the same thing that happened to Nicholas. See how it got stuck together?
Yep.
Let me see here. Can you see that?
Oh yeah, we can. Yeah.
So now I put these plastic, guards around them so that they don't, because they stuck together. But the press kits, kind of like the Army kits, you didn't always know what you were going to get in them, and a lot of them were specific to who they were going to. They could be show specific, promoter specific, venue specific.
Sure.
Just fans and stuff. So this one, I don't know if you guys have seen this, but I figured I'd pull it out. This is obviously Destroyer, but this one, they talk about not only all the normal stuff in it, but they also go over the stage. And they have these 8x10 that talk all about the stage. So the sound and fury of Kiss exploding in an all-new, all-different, all-sensational 2-hour show. Here's how it will all happen. And then they talk about all the different, little parts of the stage and stuff.
Wow.
Yeah. And
you ever seen that, Nicholas?
No, I haven't seen that one.
And then it also has the regular bio, obviously.
Right.
But then it's got this one, which is the sound and fury of the new Kiss show that talks all about the stage.
Interesting.
So it's, we just can't say what came in each press kit. There is no set thing.
No, of course not.
There was different things that came in different ones and things of that nature, different 8x10s sometimes. These are all the standard 8x10s, the sticker. But then this one also has this in it, which is weird too. It also has a Rogers and Cohen one, which we would equate more to the Alive press kit.
Right.
It's
or era.
Yeah, but it's Destroyer specific. So that's in here too. So, and there is an Alive press kit as well. No folder for it, but there is a full live press kit as well. I can show if you'd like to see it.
Yes.
Mm.
And then it's got the regular poster in there and all the stuff. The people, I think the people was standard to that one.
Yeah, that was in the other ones.
But it's cool talking all about the stage and stuff. They talk
any indication in there of who that was going to?
Let's see. Layla Bowie was the contact. But we can guarantee you musically and theatrically, this is going to be a unique experience. Do not miss Kiss's 1976 show. You'll never see anything like it on this earth. The enclosed can be reprinted for a sneak preview of the new Kiss show, which I'm assuming is the 8x10.
Sure.
So yeah, kind of cool. So
that's crazy cool.
And I've also got some Dynasty ones that are, specific to different, like different shows that we're having on that tour. Like you have the Lakeland one, John has the Tom Schneider one. Here, I'll pull it. Maybe I have it here. Yeah, here's one. So this one is, let's see. Okay, so it looks pretty much the same, but it has this one in here, which is different, which is the Demon, the Catman, the Starman, and the Spaceman. Who else but Kiss? This week's rock concert featuring the rock and roll vengeance of Kiss, disco diva Gloria Gaynor, New England, and John Cougar, Don Kirshner's Rock Hour.
Oh, wow.
Oh, okay.
So
it's almost like it's really date specific, isn't it? That's just coming up kind of thing.
Yeah, and it's all printed. You can feel it, but it's got Don Kirshner's Rock Hour on there and stuff. So, this obviously wouldn't be the normal, kit, but so I've got 5 Dynasty kits and they're all different. So there's different things.
Yeah, my one, as you remember, had with complimentary, the complimentary tickets and like almost like a heads up on a letterhead to tell them that it was coming up and stuff for that first show.
Cool.
So yeah, it's nice to find those things.
Mm-hmm.
So, cool. So show us this alive,
let me
contents.
Yep.
That's a nice
and Jeff,
display.
if there's any way you could pick up the enthusiasm and energy, we'd appreciate it. This is, people are actually going to watch this show. So
we can't be all as excited as Joe is about everything.
So this one here, let me put it up here and then I'll pull the stuff out of here. So this one's got all kinds of stuff in it too. Let's see. Okay, so manila envelope, it only just has Kiss like that, which is really weird. And then it's got two bios in it. It's got a Rogers and Cohen one.
And it talks specifically about Alive?
Yeah, so it starts out in the 1973, and that says the meteoric success of Kiss is nowhere better seen than on the record charts, blah, blah, blah. The 4th album, Alive, is already soaring to the top.
Wow.
To the delight of Kiss stars Gene Simmons, Peter Criss, Paul Stanley, and Ace Frehley.
Wow.
And Alive has now gone gold in the U.S., Canada, Australia, and Sweden. And it talks about Terre Haute, the U.S. Army, all that kind of stuff. And then this one is, let's see what this one is. This is different, but this was in there too. And you can always tell because they'll have like the rusted
staple.
Staple, yeah.
Great band name.
Rusted
Staple. Sounds like.
Okay, so this is basically almost like the first press kit with some other little stuff thrown in. Because look, it's got like this from the first press kit.
Right.
Hmm.
And the coronet, again, which came out in the Dressed to Kill. And then all these pictures. So let's go through some of these pictures. So this one is in there.
Wow.
Which is weird. And then we've seen these.
Right.
That cool Gene, cool Paul.
I'll take them.
The Cool Peter, and then the group shot.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's other ones like this one I've never even seen in there, but it's fully, like the others. And then, so this would be considered the Alive press kit. There's the Paul variant.
Right.
And then there's also these jeans, which are cool. There's these ones in here, but now on Rogers and Cohen type of print. And then this Gene signed by Gene in pen.
In pen, yeah, that's clearly a ballpoint pen. Yep.
And that's a variant Gene because it's not the same Gene that normally came in there.
Right.
So, and then there's all these other ones too. So there's a lot in there, but it's Alive specific. So
all of that, with that Alive specific bio was stuck in an envelope that was stamped with Kiss and sent to somebody.
Yes. So they didn't do, at least we haven't seen one surface yet, but we haven't seen a real folder, of course.
Folder, right.
We have seen it now.
I suppose they didn't really need it, did they? I mean, they could just, if they stick that in an envelope, send it off, people open it up the same way.
Yep, exactly. And there's such a short period of time between releases, too.
Right.
So it's like,
sure.
But it's just really cool that you have that kind of stuff. And so
amazing.
So Jeff,
because this is like the first press kit, but with the Rogers and Cohen at the top too.
Right.
So it's like they restamped it almost for, that's who was putting it out.
Right.
So that's kind of neat.
So have you ever? Does Five have? When we went through press kits, Five didn't have any of that, right?
No, he didn't. He jumped from.
John has some of those photos in his Destroyer kit.
Right.
But yes, not some of the stuff. No.
Interesting.
Have
you talked to Perstrid? Does he have any?
I think Per has it, but I don't know if he has some of the variant stuff. We have to go over it. But that's what I'm saying is like there's so much difference. There's differential in things that.
Yeah, and we've always just said there's no Alive press kit. So
there is an Alive press kit for sure.
Clearly. There's
something. Just because it doesn't have a folder doesn't mean that they didn't do any press.
Well, they did.
This is not a kit, but you know what I mean.
These photos are definitely for that. They didn't come in anything else.
Right.
Like and actually, if you, I think on eBay a set of the photos just went, and they were almost like $90 per picture or something.
Tom Manning sold them. He offered them to me for $500, and then.
Oh yeah. So
and then he went to eBay and got more. So.
Oh man, I'll give you mine.
Sure.
But that's
that's
the piece I've never seen before, which is the Rogers Cohen specific bio for it.
Very cool.
So that's kind of cool. Let me see what else I pulled out.
So you must have some stuff that John 5 doesn't have. So he'll be watching this and getting.
Oh, he has something specific that 5 wants.
Oh no, I would say over the last 8 months, much more stuff has gone out than has come in.
Okay.
So there's been a lot of stuff, and that's what's so great about this. You can never have it all, man. You can never. There's no way.
No matter how hard John tries, he can't.
Go the other way immediately. I'm like, all right, I'm out.
Exactly.
Impossible, I look like Nicholas. This is like with me all the time. On the toilet. So,
what piece of crap is that?
But the thing is, it's like I get all the way through it, right? Then I start over again, and I do it again. And it's like, I just love it. And
that's because I forgot to put an index in there, so it's like really frustrating.
Right?
I gotta find it.
I love collecting vinyl. I don't know what this one is I pulled out. So
exactly.
If only you would do another one. That would be cool. Okay, so here's another cool thing. Who's got a Cadillac flyer?
I don't have a Cadillac flyer, but a lot of people have Cadillac flyers.
Bueller.
No one? No.
No.
I don't have one. No.
Joe, you got one?
I have a Cadillac.
No. I've got the helicopter. Is that what you're talking about? The helicopter. Yeah. I've got.
Okay, grab yours.
I don't know. Mine is maybe a little dubious. I don't know.
Okay. Well,
we'll see. Smells old.
Hold it up. All right. So yeah. All right. So you see your A on that? I'll tell you guys an amazing story. This is something that blew John and mine.
Here?
No, on the Paul. On Paul. The A on Paul.
Oh, okay. Yep.
So you see how it's kind of hand drawn?
Yep.
Right. Okay. So you see how like Paul on this one, you can see how it's like hand drawn in.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
Then if you see Paul on this one, not hand drawn, right? All right. So check this out. So I ended up befriending a guy named Rich who lives in Cadillac, Michigan, was at the Cadillac show, and is just the guy on Cadillac memorabilia. And he's just a super sweetheart, man. And I learned so much from him, about this stuff. So both flyers are correct. But the original flyers that were printed prior to them coming to Cadillac the A's are like that, where it's the original A, if you can kind of see that.
Oh, yeah.
See how it's not drawn just perfect? And when they figured out that they needed to print more, and when they were printing it, the original ran out, and they fixed it a little bit, and that's how we get all those A's.
Wow.
Got it.
Isn't that so cool?
Got it.
Interesting.
And they didn't care. I mean, that's the thing. Somebody's in the back, that's fake. That's fake. You can tell that A is drawn in. Well, no, it's not. And he's got all the original, the original stuff, and so that's kind of cool. So I don't think that has ever really been talked about in depth, but now we can check and see if theirs has if it's the original or if it's the second printing of the flyer.
Right. Interesting.
He told me when they left in the helicopter, like the wind blew them all on like this row of houses. So they were literally raking these up, like in the backyard, raking up the fires and throwing in there. And then in the middle of the night, they'd go to their garbage and pull them out. But he has the whole story. And he told me a fascinating story, which I'll tell you. So when they were setting up for the Cadillac show, JR and the guys were there, and they're talking about what they're going to do. And they wanted to do something special for, I think it was Alan Miller, actually. They wanted to do something special for their show, and he's like, so what's special for Flint and stuff like that? He's like, all we get up here are snowstorms and, snow. That was the first time they did the confetti drop with the tanks for a show. It was Cadillac.
Interesting.
Wow.
So how about that one, right? So of course I'm like, what? I'm gonna go back and look and see if I can find it anywhere else. And lo and behold, that was it. And they tell the whole story about going and getting. He told me the whole story about how they went and they picked up the tanks, and they had to get air tanks. And Cadillac was such a small town then. It's small now, but it was so small then. The only place they had the air tanks to do the confetti was in the ambulances. So they had to get them from the hospital. And like, if somebody was like, needed it that night, they had him. Kiss had him on stage. How cool is that to blow the confetti and it unrolled from the top? And man, he knew it all, and was there. Like, he was talking like I'm talking now, but just I thought that was really interesting. So
great insider story, for sure.
Insane story.
Is that unbelievable? Yeah. So maybe he doesn't know, and maybe I haven't totally debunked it, but I'm going with it because it's awesome.
Right.
And it seems about right, because that's what, October 75? Is that when that was? October 75? That show? I mean, do we know of any shows where they used the confetti prior to that?
I'm not that familiar.
I don't know. Somebody will tell us below if they.
Because I don't know if I think the first time I remember seeing pictures of it is like Detroit,
right,
which is December 75. So.
What was it printed in the booklet of Alive or one of those ones? You can see confetti falling down on people. Is that which one's that? Is that Alive 2 or Alive? I can't remember.
No,
hands and confetti.
That's the Alive booklet, but that booklet's first sold at it's the first sold at Detroit. So where's that picture? From the Michigan Palace.
Right.
So I think it was right in between October and December that they used it.
Yeah, so it seems to match, doesn't it?
And there's a little flyers because you can take the tour, that Jim Neff does in Cadillac. There's the flyer, and they list that on that flyer too. That it was the first the Kiss snowstorm.
Interesting.
Wow.
Yeah. All right. More fun stuff.
Yeah, you got a few more
cool
things to
How
show.
are we doing on time? Are we ready to close up?
Probably getting there.
Okay.
We've probably lost 99% of our audience right now.
I know, right? They're like
2 hours. So.
Yeah. Well, part 2 will be in Miami. Part 3 will be.
Yeah. We got to do one from each location.
From each location.
Yeah, that'd be great.
We'll have to.
Yeah, that'd be so awesome. Okay, so this is pretty cool.
All right, hold on. Yeah.
So this is the original resides in Washington, D.C. This is the only known copy from January 4th, 77. This used to hang in Bill's office, and this is the trademark patent.
For the for the logo?
For the logo, yeah.
That is incredible.
And this, it's got the plaintiff's thing on it, and it's dated January 4th, 77, and I have the frame and everything. There's pictures of it in Bill's office, but this came from Bill's stuff too. And this is the only other copy, supposedly, of the trademark. So
yeah, I mean, we've all seen the face makeup trademarks, but I have never seen the logo trademark.
Yeah, the logo one.
Incredible.
Yeah, that's great.
It's amazing.
Yeah, for musical entertainment services rendered by a group. Yeah, so it's pretty cool. So I love that. I took it out of the frame.
Hold it up. Push it forward a little bit.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
there you go. That's great.
It's the angle that you hold it at.
Stuff down there.
That's great.
Very cool.
That is so cool.
2019 Epic Rights. What?
I know. Exactly. Okay. So here, remember I was telling you I was taking all the shows from the newspaper clippings, putting them with tickets.
Right.
So these are all like show newspaper clippings, like theater and different ones, and then 74 ones.
There you go.
So I've been putting all those together. So I've been pulling that stuff out. Let's see. This is kind of weird. This is cool for autograph stuff because this is the Hotter Than Hell studio log.
No kidding.
Yeah. So this is all of the paperwork.
The original?
Yeah. All of the paperwork and stuff from Village Recorders and all the stuff for the recording of Hotter Than Hell. But the cool thing is it's great to see their signatures back then, So there's Aces.
Yeah.
And you can see like early Gene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it tells, everything about what they were doing that day and what they were recording. Paul's, Pete,
Wow.
So that's kind of cool, and it has all the the SIR rental form.
You don't have the lost master tapes, do you?
No.
Yeah, remixing it.
If you could find those.
This is from Neil, but it's them trying to track down a drum set that Peter stole.
Look at that early Casablanca letterhead thing. Look at that. Look at that for low budget. That's awesome.
Look at that.
Yeah.
And it's so cool because Peter rented a drum set for their Kiss rented drum set for their session and never returned it.
Oh my gosh.
We tried to track it down, but no luck. So we are being billed to the last snare drum.
Wow.
L, whoever L is.
That is incredible.
So yeah, that's kind of cool.
Stole a drum set.
This one is cool too. This is the Bell Sound Bible. So this is all the stuff from Bell Sound,
photos and stuff.
Yeah, all the the original agreements and all the photos, and some really cool stuff in here that you didn't see, like Pete clowning around. And we've seen some of these photos, but it's just really cool to see like what the names of the songs were. Like right here, rented twin reverb amp and wah-wah pedal. $11 for that wah-wah pedal.
Whoa, a whole $11.
Seems a little pricey.
For 1974, yeah.
Yeah, that's probably $100 now.
And it also has like a bunch of pictures from when they were, at
right,
the Fillmore rehearsing.
Right.
All those and the gear that they were using. So some pretty cool stuff. That's something that's pretty cool in there.
I always find it weird that there's that photo of the band with Neil and he's in the makeup and they're all, doing that contract thing where they got him handcuffed. And then there's another photo, almost must have been the same day, where the band are wearing slightly different makeup. And they've like recreated it. I don't know what's going on there, but if you can have you'll see those photos all the time. There's actually 2 photos. They've restaged that twice. Like Peter's whiskers are totally different, but they've obviously redone the whole thing. Like I don't know what happened.
Yeah, well,
it's just so bizarre.
I mean, it'd be nothing. You wouldn't put it past Kiss to maybe fabricate that a little bit or do something.
Yeah,
Kiss has never fabricated anything.
But this is kind of some of the stuff in here is kind of cool because there's this is like overdubs for Strutter, but you can see on here there's a song called "Wish I Was in California," 2 minutes and 38 seconds, which we've never heard.
Wow.
Well, there's a lot of songs in here,
like a Red Hot Chili Peppers song, probably.
Right? 311.
Exact California.
So there's a lot of songs that are in this stuff too that like wasn't.
What was that one for again? The Wish I Was in California. What era was that recording for?
This
Bell Sounds was 74.
Yeah,
I thought it was the first one. Okay.
1873.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
And 12/4/73. Everything's dated in there, but there's hundreds and hundreds of sheets in there, so that's kind of cool. And then one more, Nicholas. I'll show you this one.
I'll allow it. Whoa, that's really cool. Is that a promoter one?
So here's what's weird about this. You mentioned this in your book.
He doesn't remember.
Which is this is what
I don't remember yesterday. So.
I had a book.
Let me pull it out for you. So right here you say Destroyer Tour most definitely kicked off the sales of the official merchandise, blah 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 blah, and possibly a Destroyer artwork iron-on with Summer Tour. So now I know John's got one similar, but the guy I got this from, Old Timer, he bought this at the Cape Cod show at the merch stand, not anywhere else. And funny enough, the story of this is crazy of how I ended up getting it because he refused to ship it. So I had to have a friend go get it, and then his car broke down. He had to take a 2.5-hour Uber to get it and all that kind of stuff. But I've got pictures of him wearing this or holding it and stuff at the show.
That's incredible.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So it's the only one I've ever seen. Well, I don't know. So I thought I would show it to you because you kind of hint at it in the book. Do you feel like this is the one you were hinting at in the book?
I don't know. I think what I was hinting at was there was another one that I'd seen where it was more like the Alive T-shirt cut out, but it was cut out around the Kiss one. But right. I wonder if that's just could that be a promoter one? Because it kind of has a look.
He just said it. The guy bought it at the merch stand.
Yeah, but he bought it in.
Yeah, you got it at the merch stand. Yeah.
In the show, which is crazy. So
it's amazing that none of the ones are showing up though. So like I sometimes do wonder when they say that whether their memory just, whether they misremembered or something. I don't know. It could have been.
All right, last one. So this is kind of weird. These are all the negatives of the Australia tour. But it's only all the backstage negatives.
Oh.
So if you look at these, let's see if you can kind of, maybe if I bring it closer.
Come closer.
You can see all the partying and.
Yeah, we've seen, some of these.
Some of them, yeah.
Yeah, some of these you've seen, and then obviously some of you haven't, but, there's 1,400 photos.
Oh my God.
And it's literally everything. Every, party, every backstage, everything. Nothing, no on-stage stuff, just all the backstage.
That weird one where Ace is open mouth kissing that older man that appears in some of the shots. Have you seen that? It's like full on.
Yeah, they're in here. And then you see ones that you obviously have seen, you know, like here's what's kind of funny. We've all seen this shot of Paul holding up the newspaper.
Right.
You know, but then the one next to it are like a bunch of girls in the hotel room. You know? So
yeah, I think we've seen a few, but we haven't seen as many of that run as that, have we?
Right.
Yeah, and like people, you know, so that's kind of a.
Do you actually have the negatives, or do you just have the proof
photos
sheet?
of the negatives?
Yeah,
that's a proof sheet that's been.
Contact sheet. Yeah.
Let me see here. I've got all the proof sheets. I think there are negatives too. They may be in the rest of the box, but yeah, there's a ton of stuff with this. Some great ones at Eric, man. Eric was girl crazy for sure. Yeah.
Incredible stuff, man.
Yeah, so just
very cool.
Some things that maybe we hadn't seen on the show before.
For sure.
Different. And, yeah, so
that's good stuff.
So Jeff, as we start to wind down, is there anything that you're looking for? We know that, you know, elite collectors always seem to have like the white whale or two that they just haven't, you know, been able to grab yet. Is there anything out there that you're just like, man, it's just burning a hole in you to try and get this piece?
I mean, there's tons, as we kind of mentioned, like we can never get it all. But one of my favorite items always have been the Magic Market cups. You know, I at one time I had, I think, 30 ace number 4s for some reason.
Good Lord.
And there's multiple sets in there because I always have them so that you can see the back and the front of each cup. But, you know, that's what I was talking about with Jason before. Like, just if I saw something, I just got it because I kind of wanted to, you know, put it in plastic and take care of it and put it away. And that's how I accumulated multiples of things. I've been selling some stuff off, as you guys know. But, I mean, I think I had 30 of the first on tour books at one point, too. So, but I always wanted the white, you know, in concert, the color, you know, Magic Market poster. That's one that was like really.
I'll flip it up now. Sorry, here.
Yeah.
There we go.
You just had that in your back pocket?
Yeah, we just happen to have that in our back pocket.
Yeah, exactly.
That's something that I've always, you know, wanted. And then, you know, there's certain things too that you know, I would trade and not get back. So I would trade stuff if somebody else really needed one. A perfect example is the poster art that Jason, I think you just got Nicholas's not too long ago.
From Nicholas's, yeah.
Yeah, I don't have a poster art right now because I ended up trading it with somebody. And so to get something else that I needed to complete something, and
you'd have to be silly to trade that away.
Yeah.
You'd have to be silly to trade that away. I don't know why anybody would do that.
And that was so
I traded it for a Kiss My Wax slip mat.
Oh, thanks.
Equal value, I think. So.
And what's
polite, you know.
And one of the things I think is so cool now is you know, since we are winding up, is it's all come full circle. You know, now I have people. It was a great. I don't know if you guys know a guy named Aaron Morrow. He's on the Facebook page, but. You know, he's kind of, you know, he's got a great collection going on. And he reached out to me. He's like, man, you know, do you have this? Do you have that? And I'm like, dude, I got all this here, you know. And now I'm like kind of where I was before with, you know, this guy, his name was Joe too, where I got my stuff. Now, you know, I talk to Aaron almost daily about stuff, and he's just so excited, you know, to get new items, and like he's full on with press kits right now. So I'm like, dude, get one, and then, you know, we'll do this. Or if I found you know, I found a couple, and then I sent it to him. But it's just now I guess I'm the elder statesman of that a little bit. And
yeah, we will anticipate each one of us our Kiss Collector's Care Kit or whatever you were calling it.
I'm not that far away. Fire up your car.
Oh, it's all
Detroit.
The FBI swoops them. We found it.
Right.
Yeah, I definitely will. Okay, I'll put it this way. I will send each of you, Joe in person, but each of you guys will send. I know something that each of you guys are missing, and out of good faith, I will send you guys each something cool. And
please not a copy of your shower video.
That's the most important part of it for me. And if you don't have somebody to share it with in a positive way, that's what it's all about for me.
I agree.
And that's this right here is what it's all about. It's never been, about, like I said, about the financial side of it. Like obviously, this stuff, is worth money, but it's always been about who I can share it with and who I can talk about with. And that's the magic of this band. I love Led Zeppelin. I love AC/DC. But I can't talk about those bands like I can talk about this band for some reason. I
want to know, are these care packages really just a front for your drug smuggling operation? Nicholas, just carry this package through customs.
Yeah, right.
I wish. That's this stuff's getting expensive, man.
How do I pay for this?
But that's just what it was. Like, everybody's going through a tough time. So how cool is it to just have something wind up on your porch and things like that? My good buddy Tom Rickiak from Gibson Guitars, he loves, his favorite album by Kiss is Crazy Nights, Joe. And he loves, my Chris Jericho, a good buddy of mine too, loves non-makeup Kiss more than anything. So so anything, I found a ton of, cool, like that era stuff, and I sent it to Todd, for his thing, and he was just, beyond himself. He loved it, and it's like, whatever, I
will have to say that I bought a Destroyer press kit from Jeff a little while ago, and he did send me some extra free goodies in it.
What did I put in it?
I think it was.
I gave you an extra press kit,
like an Animalized press kit, or Revenge, or Hot in the Shade. One of those, something like that. You threw that in there.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
But I always try to. I would much rather not have it, and give it away than had to have fought or somehow to get it. Then it's not cool to me that way. You know what I mean?
Right. Or to help somebody, like with the John 5, when I had the one belt buckle that John 5 didn't have on that show, right?
Did he really need it?
He really needed it. Yeah. So I sent it out to him, and he sent me something back. And so all that stuff is, that's what makes it cool, because he's certainly going to enjoy that way more than I ever would.
Exactly.
So, if it rounds out somebody's collection or makes them happier than I am, which is just about everybody.
And I've sent
it's all good.
And I've sent a lot of stuff John's way too, because for me, I feel like that's the museum right now, Right. And my stuff is here and there and it's there, but if there's certain things that I found that John needed to complete something. One of them is in here, which when I text him like, "Hey, are you doing the show today?" He's like, Ace ice cream box.
He's sitting there looking at it like this.
Yeah, right.
We're sorry, John.
Oh, John.
We love you, John.
Of course, John. You can buy it, but I'm like, nope. You got to wait, and it'll show up one day. And he hates that because it's like, I want it now. But that's kind of how the Collegeville box made its way there, and some other things, and then something will just show up here, and it's from him. He knows I need it, and so we've completed a lot of things for each other. But it's just that's the fun. That's the fun of it.
For sure.
Do you ever have any plans to consolidate everything into one location, or?
Well, there's a couple things. I don't know if I should put this out yet, but there's a couple of things that we had been talking about. And one of the things John and I talked about really seriously after coronavirus is we want to do the conventions again, the expos.
Sure.
We want to put it on with you guys and the whole thing and
would love to
really blow it up. And maybe some of this stuff, will be there so people can see it and stuff like that.
Sure.
And I mean, that's the way I remember those experiences for me. Those expos were unbelievable.
Yes, they were.
That's something that we talked about doing and really doing it on a whole nother, another scale and stuff. So I hope that happens.
Me too.
But yes, there will be consolidation at some time. But then I'll come home for Christmas and I'll be like, oh, I have nothing.
Where's my stuff?
So, having stuff in different places is cool. And when we do the Miami one or whatever, we'll go through the stuff that's there.
So are you saying you will come back?
Oh my God! If you guys will have me, I'll come back.
Yes, we would love to have you back, man. There's a lot of stories to tell.
We got this thing that maybe we'll just all, I'll just come on all the time. This like a more of a co-host with you guys. I'll just self-invite.
That's what Joe said at the first.
I know.
That's right.
It doesn't sound.
That's right.
It sounds so much more self-inviting. So
that's how Nicholas will make you a card.
Yeah,
That's right.
All right. Well, we're gonna wrap it up. It's a long one. So
how long did we go?
2 hours and 9 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Yeah. So
8 hours and 36 seconds.
Was the hour prior?
Right.
It was
Right.
the best.
That's right.
That's right.
So,
Thank you for having me, you guys.
Jeff, thanks for coming on, man, and it's a pleasure. And I know we can just tell you have a billion more stories to tell. So we definitely want to have you back on the show. Yeah, and and then we'll have you back on with 5 too, and
yeah,
we'll have a good time. We'll have a good time. So
coming, but yeah, it's an honor, man. I love what you guys are doing, and
thank you.
It's given it. You guys were a part of bringing me back into this thing as well. So thanks.
Awesome, thank you, man. So if that's it,
and then
we'll see you on the next one.